So what do you think the clock is, guys? It's actually 11 p.m. So it's getting dark, but let's go out and work on the Saab. And when I'm finished, it should be dark enough to test the lamps and see if they work. So here we have the new headlamps. These are Depot, not Valeo brand as the original. Or I think Hella is the original in these kinds of Saabs. And we're gonna change them because I have modified the ones in my car to LED lenses. And I'm gonna have my car on like a 2-year control, and it wouldn't have gotten like the approval if I had those LED lenses in. But I'm not gonna go there yet after installing them, so I'm gonna change to LED low beams, high beams, parking light, and just letting the blinker be as is. To test this new setup. It would be pretty nice. And you have one broken tab here. I got them at a good price, but you can adjust height and side to side. And then you have 3 bolts on the headlamp that you have to loosen up to get those out. And then there's just a connector that snaps in on the back side here. Then they are wired up, and you have to almost remove the bumper to get access. On the old generation 9.3 you can just take the headlamp lamp, but on the new generation you have to remove or almost remove the bumper. For some reason the audio disappeared in the few next clips, so I'm just gonna talk over. But we're also deciding to upgrade the low beam and high beam this time to LED bulbs instead of halogen. And it's fairly simple, especially on these aftermarket headlamps. You have those buckle mounts that you can just buckle around the LED bulbs and it works nicely. But if you are having like the original housing, you will have like this same holder that I show here in the low beam as well. And then you need to do some slight modification to the metal ring in the end there, or get a new metal ring from eBay or any other place like that that will fit around the new LED bulb, because the LED bulbs will go through that metal ring because you have cooling on the back side. But I have just cut up a bigger hole in my previous ones, but it's easier to get new ones. And when you take off all of those plastic things, you will just have that connector left, and then you just have the adapter rings and everything will go just fine. So this is how the connector is when you're taking out the bulb, and then we just need to remove the metal clip. Then we're left with this connector plus this holder thing on the back side that we will remove. Then we will just have the connector. So if you're just going to change to halogen bulbs, you don't have to do this step here, but since we're upgrading to LEDs, we will do this like we're doing here. And as you can see on these holders here, you see there's a much bigger hole on the ones on the underside there. It's because the fan cooling on the LEDs will like have to fit through that hole, and with the standard halogen bulb you don't have that. So either modify the ones you have, or just buy these ones from eBay. They're like $1 for a set of 2 or something like that. And there's 2 different kinds. This type here is for the low beam. Just buy it from looking at the pictures. I don't think many of them describes them for being to Saabs, but if you see how they look, you will be able to buy the same ones because there's just a limited amount of different ones. So if they look the same, they are the same. So low beam on the underside and high beam on the upper side, I will probably link them. So on the LED bulbs, the socket is removable, and you basically like fit this metal ring behind it, and that makes you able to mount the LED bulbs into the other kind of holder that doesn't use that like buckle mount. So here we have the low beam with the buckle mount. Everything is secured. You just first insert the socket for the LED bulb, secure it, and then insert the LED bulb. And here, if you're gonna do this on your car, I would advise to remove the headlamp, because this is a little bit hard to get to. It's fairly long into the headlamp as well, and using a screwdriver makes it easier as well. Just loosen up those screws, insert the plastic holder for the LED bulb, and then the metal adapter thing, and then just tighten everything up together. Originally you can twist it, but it's not as easy when you don't like have the plastic handle that we took off earlier from the connector. So loosen those screws, and it will be much easier to twist it in there. We can see it's like in the right direction there. And now you can see it from the inside. So mounting the headlamp itself, we will start by removing these clips. You just push down a little bit in the middle there, and they will move freely or like loosen up. And when you have pushed them down, you just put your screwdriver or like a sharp plastic thing, if you don't want to scratch the paint under, and just lift them up and they will pop. So yes, I had a little bit of problems filming this, but I removed the 2 or 3 upper screws on the back side here. I'm missing the last one down there, but remove those 2 over that, and then you can move on to push the bumper outside like I've done here. So I removed just 2 top ones, and then we can pull this out. Then we can see, should have more than enough access. 2 bolts here. And one missing bolt there or something. But you have access if you just do this. 10 millimeters on top. There should be one, I believe. There or something. But you just pull it up, it comes right up. Bolt, bolt, bolt. Then you just set in right and connect the connector, and we can do everything. Put this back together and do the other side. So the headlights are good, fairly good alignment as well. You have 2 like Torx plastic screws on top of the headlight to adjust them. You would want to go to a professional place to have them aligned correctly. I will do that when I have the car tested or checked. They do that if the headlights are not correctly aimed, but you want to have the headlights pointing straight out from the main beams, so when you like see on the wall, they won't like shift the point where they are focusing if you are getting close or getting back. If they are straight from the car, they will like point at the same place on the wall, even if you're standing 10 meters away or 20 meters or 5 meters. And then you want to have them just slightly, they say 1% dip on the beam, so that is almost like straight forward, and then 1 percentage of degree that the headlight should aim downwards, and you will get a fairly good result, and then you can go to a garage to fine-tune the headlight aim. So these headlights were also much newer, so the result maybe not so easy to see on camera, but just looks much more clean and clear lenses during the nighttime and during the daytime as well. So nice aesthetic, for aesthetic reason and for performance reasons. This was a kind of an upgrade.